Ride1Up Roadster. It's got a flat tire again, so I'm gonna show you a short video on how I take out the flat tire. Of course, you have to remove anything in the way, and I'm probably gonna mount it up and just pull the tire off. You have to be careful. You gotta have the right wrench here. I think it's a 15 millimeter. And then on this side, yeah, I'll put that in there. Okay, so I got it up on my trusty bike hand, and you see how taut this is? It makes a twang noise. Well, that's how tight it needs to be when we get done. And the trick to taking this off is there's these screws here and here that pull back on this belt to give it the proper tension. So when I remove these and back these off, I like to count the number of turns, starting in the down position, that, well, like this, that I turn those out so I can put them back in the same way. And then you have to have the proper wrench to do this. I don't think I have an 18 millimeter, so I'm just using this crescent wrench. So that's what'll happen. These actually come off so that you can push this forward, pull that off. Let me go ahead and start loosening all this for you. Okay, let's... And you want to be careful not to damage this spring here. And my wrench is kind of stuck, not very loose. There, by hand. And then we'll do this side. And I just like to take these off and lay them on the floor in the order that they came off. So notice that this nut has a little tab there, and that locks into this V here, and there's a flat. See the flat? That's the flat here and here. So when you put this back on, that has to be facing that way, and that gets locked into this groove. So I lay that down just like that. Same thing on this end. Now I have to disconnect this. So I'm going to go get myself some snippers and unplug this so this comes off nice and neatly. Okay, so very carefully I clip this and then I unplug this. Note the arrows are pointing to one another, and I just pull this out. This comes out nice and straight. I can take the nut off. Okay, and I can take out again the same way this here. And this actually can just go back in here like that. I don't think it's going anywhere. And now this can go forward and back as soon as I loosen this. So it's 1, 2, 3. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. About 9 turns. See that? That locks on there. These are symmetrical. But again, I'm going to lay this down on this side, and I'll do the same thing on this side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. Lay that down here. Now this makes this whole assembly very, very loose. So I can go ahead and push that forward and get this wheel off here like this. You take it off the front. That gives you plenty for the rear. And then we can pull this wheel assembly right out. And this comes off here like that. That's all nice and sweet. Again, we've got 2 washers here. Okay. And these are the washers that you screwed in. So we're going to lay them like, and this goes out. So we're going to lay that like that. Okay. And this one is just, these 2 screws go out like this. But if you're careful, that can stay on this other side as you change the tire. And that's what I'm going to do now. I'm going to just do a regular tire change. I like to mark where the tire is. So this is the tube. Okay. And maybe we'll mark like here and here. Just so that when I fill it up and find the leak, I know approximately where it was in here. I just like to start on the other end and just kind of run this through here like this. Okay, just kind of strip it off all the way around. Yeah, just like that. Oh yeah, you see how this is pinched in here? I bet you that's the source of the problem, and I'm going to mark that and see if that's not where the problem was. Because I just was going along and this thing just went boom. So I don't like the way that was. So I'm going to put this at the top again and pull out this tube. And this is the top. And we'll just mark this like X and X. Okay. Air compressor. Hey, computer, turn on the air compressor. Okay, when I fill this up, it's clear. This is blowing like crazy. Big hole right there. Not on the other side. So apparently it just blew. I don't know if it's a cheap inner tube or what, but if I line this up, it's happening right around here. And looks like it's toward the outside. I don't see any evidence of anything. So I'm going to attribute it to these crappy tires. And I'm going to put a little better tires on. A little wider, a little fatter, and see what happens. Upon further inspection, I see this here feels very abrasive, and I'm sure this poked a hole in here. So I'm going to have to tape that over in that area so that that doesn't affect the inner tube. So that looks like what happened right there or there. Okay, so I used some electrician tape and taped over those bad spots, and now I've got the new Metro Elite tire and tube in place, and I'm just going to finish mounting that in there, and I'll show you how we install that back on the bike. Okay, we've got the new tire mounted on there now, and we're going to go ahead and put this back on like this. Okay, and of course you want to make sure you get the wire over here. first, and then you want to get this up here with the flats. And that's going to be the hard part because I didn't undo the brake. So let me undo the brake here. That's with a flip of the switch that widens the brake. Okay. Put this up here. Okay, now that I've got these washers on the inside, I'm going to go ahead, shove this back up into there, like this, making sure the flat is there. So that's the key, this flat. Get this past here. If I didn't have this extra oversized tire on there, it wouldn't be the problem. Okay, I shoved it back in there, and you notice where I screw this in is in there on this side, and the washer's on the inside. Now these are going on the outside like this. Okay, and this will go on here like this. And while this is loose, we put this on the end of this. Okay, this is just my, don't worry about my fender. And we get this kind of a little bit loose. This is coming back. And we pull this back. I believe I've got these nuts on wrong, and this washer actually flips around and goes in the back. Yes, so it points toward the front, the little knob, if you could see what I was doing. Okay, same thing on this side. This little flat has to go forward, like that. That's enough, much nicer snug fit. Okay, and we kind of tighten this. Feel this? Little loose. And I just know by feel, but you could use the app. So I was at, okay, so I was at 8.5. I'm going to go to 9. Might have to loosen this a bit for it to function. That's like 9.25. Okay. Tighten that. And then this side needs to be equal, so at 9.25, just a quarter turn. Okay. Tighten that up. And it should twang like this. It should feel good. That's how I remember it. So I'm just going to tighten this down, reconnect this over here, put a tie to it, put some air in here, and we should be good to go. So I'm just checking this out. I put the air in the tire. I'm just adjusting my really nice fenders so they don't interfere with the tire. And this is the tape I used to fix the little holes I thought were giving a flat tire. And all I have to do is zip tie this here. and we're good to go. Kind of thinking that's a little bit tight, but not really. That's good.